We now tune into the Paul Kennebrew Show, who I have the pleasure of being with today.
What's good, bro? This is Hollow BTN here from Orlando, Florida. Yes, sir.
The people,
Uh, I do a lot. Basically, I'm a audio engineer, music producer, recording artist. Uh, that's basically my passion. Those things, entertainment in general.
what you currently working on right now?
Currently, I'm working on putting out beats, working on my beat for putting the project, creating, and supplying new beat customers. Personally, yeah, working on a couple of pleasure projects.
Where do people find your music?
They can find my music anywhere in the internet cloud, basically YouTube, BeatStars, Pawn5, Apple Music, just DistroKid, and any distribution platform really.
Anybody you want to currently work with?
Uh, hmm, Not really. I mean, nobody comes to mind. I'm really more focused on self mastery than to really work with people, but I'm open to it.
Okay.
You know,
Who inspired you growing up?
who inspired me as far as like what category?
Music.
Music. My early inspirations probably have to go to people like Biggie. Yeah, pretty much Biggie because you always hear, the stories of Biggie and Tupac, and once you get into hip hop, those were the two top like tier rappers. And I guess one time I remember having this memory. I was in the car with my dad, and I heard I forgot what Biggie song it was. Oh, it was Juicy actually. I was listening to Juicy, and I'm like, damn, this dude just sliding on this beat, like he's real cool. And I always carried that memory. It's like, dang, what stuck out to me more was the beat, because it was so cool that da-da-da-da-da-da, and then this dude just rapping on it so easy like butter. I'm like, damn. And that kind of propelled my interest into sticking to the specific genre that I like now, which is hip hop. I got other inspirations and things like that too, but uh, like Daft Punk, for example, if anyone knows about that, like, yeah, my inspirations are pretty wide with music, but I say it started in hip hop.
Do you feel the sampling age is over?
Nah, not at all. I sample now. People who even make beats by hand, like they sample whether it's a drum kit or a melody. Everyone's sharing with everyone, like there's sound, so there's no secret sound. Everyone's using something. Some people, yeah, sometimes you get something completely new, but that's rare. When that happens, people gravitate towards that and sample it anyway. So sampling is never over, for sure.
Do you feel it's a stigma when it comes to age and making music for hip hop?
Nah, not at all. Because Swiss Beats could come out any day and produce somebody's album, and he's like nearing 50, if not 50 by now. All the greats you could think of right now, if they felt like making music, they have an audience. That audience is always there no matter what age. Right now, I don't even know their names, but there's like, I saw on World Star Hip Hop like a couple years ago, there's these two old guys making a music video, and they're well in their 80s, making a trap music video. There's a freaking old white granny making a trap video, trap music and stuff. And the point is, they got audiences, no matter what age. Like, there's money and audiences for everybody, for sure.
Okay. What are your thoughts on the stage of hip hop right now?
The state of hip hop right now, it's evolving. I say it reached its peak to a certain point. It's only so far you can go one way until you decide to go the other. I think it's just in a place where we're deciding where it's gonna go next, what we're gonna like next, and like you have different branches of hip hop that evolved within this time frame of hip hop. We have everyone from Lil Durk to Lil Uzi to J. Cole and everything in between, and Drake and Kendrick and all the kind of rap styles in between. And we don't really know what's popular, like what's the next it kind of thing. What's the next, you know, hot thing that's gonna pop up next. So right now, I think we're just in a stage of like transition, transformation.
Do you feel hip hop is oversaturated?
Yeah, why that's what calls for the transformation. I say way too saturated because um everyone just wants to. Most people just want to make what they know already works. So they're just going off the last person. Like, oh well, I feel better. Like it's a win if someone says I sound like this person instead of saying, well, I'm gonna go this way and sound like myself and not sound like no one else. No one wants to do that, so they saturate it with, well, I know I'll sound good if I sound like the next person or so on and so forth.
How do you feel about female hip hop?
Um, I don't personally listen to too much female hip hop, but I feel like it's in a good place. It's in a place where it's never been before. Like some female rappers have surpassed, been more popular than, more relevant than a lot of male rappers.
Okay.
You know, just being them and going hard and working harder than the guys. So I think just over time, they've worked harder and earned their spot for sure.
I'm going to spin off the last question. What are your thoughts on female battle rap?
Female battle rap, I don't really see any difference because when it's battle rapping, it's really just like war of the minds. They could say things just as nasty and just as, you know, twisted and make it sound good, just like any of the male rappers. Yeah, I don't see any difference.
You've been following the latest beefs?
Of battle rap.
No. So like the Ti and 50.
Oh yeah, I've been following a little bit of that for sure. Yeah.
What was your thoughts on Ti's response?
Um, I think he's going about it the best way he can. I mean, it's this guy over the internet talking about you and your family. Except the guy's probably a billionaire by now. I mean, it's what can you really do? How can you really respond? What you gonna do? Like go try to find him, fly across the country, try to track him down?
Right,
What
right,
you gonna do? Make a couple songs and tweet back
right.
or ignore it.
Do you think there should be a line that shouldn't be crossed?
Um, there's always the should be factor. That's always there. Everyone knows about it, but there's no should be in front of me. That invisible line you speak of, I could ignore it if I want to. That ain't gonna hurt me. So of course it's there, but don't nobody care about that.
How you feel about like trolling and clickbait and clout chasing?
Um, so like with trolling, people been doing that since the internet existed. Because you live over there, I live over here. All we got is, a word war. My words against yours. And if I say something slicker than you, I win the public view.
Right.
So trolling is like it's not that serious, but it's only serious for the person who takes it serious, kind of thing. Clickbait that could fall anything to. But it's just business. I need the views. I know what you're looking for, but this ain't really what it is. But you stayed here for like 10, 15 seconds. It's just business. Things like that. It's the internet. It's all on the internet. It's not really real.
But street dudes don't know how to distinguish we in the studio right now from we in the streets.
No,
They're one track minded.
they can be for sure. But that's just where a lot of people fall short at. They can't compartmentalize. They can't say, well, all right, like I know people bring up the documentary of Vince McMahon a lot lately.
Okay.
Like you could capitalize off of, like you're gonna get people who disagree with you, who want to go against you in all categories of life. You don't always have to, pick up your sword and shield and fight back at that. You could just do like Vince McMahon and say, all right, well, let's capitalize off this. Let's make something out of this. We don't have to agree to disagree. Well, let me really hear how you feel. Let me really get a chance to really say how I feel. And, people can always go about it differently. But like you said, they're one track minded. So they usually, they feel a certain type of way. So they act it out.
What I learned about the entertainment industry is God forgives, but people don't. So they'll bring up your past from 20 years ago,
For
a,
sure.
a tweet you made 20 years ago, or a comment you made on a specific ethnic group,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Hulk Hogan, right?
Oh
People
yeah.
don't forget,
No.
right? People are not forgiven as they should be,
Mm.
right? They'll hold it against you forever, right?
Mm.
So I have some Anglo-Saxon friends, right?
Mm.
And I said, man, I hate to be you because you're going to be labeled racist just by your existence. You didn't even have to say nothing, right?
Right. Right.
It's just racism does exist, but
In all forms.
correct, but it's like the scapegoat for everything,
Yeah.
right? But I can't tell people how to feel,
No.
so everybody's entitled to their feelings and their opinions or whatever.
This is true.
You got any questions to ask me?
Um. Do you like interviewing people?
Yeah.
What do you like about
So I like to pick people's mind,
it?
right? I like the psychology of it, right? Everybody has a different perspective, right? And everybody articulates different.
Mm.
And you can learn something by listening. It can make me a lot of money. So that's why I enjoy about it. The networking part or doing business, right?
Right.
What I really truly love, what made me do it is the inspiring part. Or I found the Little Wayne or the next Jay-Z or the next Kendrick, right? Who needed a platform. So
I understand that. You're not so you're not so interested in who you could work for. You're more interested in being there when that certain thing happens. Like you were there for the blow up. You were there for that start of his career. You did that first interview.
absolutely.
Right. I feel you.
Reason being an adolescent and you trying to get a job and then the employer says the dumbest thing to you, right? Oh, you don't have experience.
Right.
And you say, how am I supposed to get experience if no one gives me the first shot, right?
Exactly.
And they say, unfortunately, we can't hire you. We're only looking for people with experience, right?
Yeah. And then now you're working at McDonald's because they'll take anybody.
Correct. So that's why I do it,
Yeah.
So there's no platform really to discover underground hip hop. So that's what really why I do it,
I feel you.
So then me running down on the A-list celebrities, I'm not a groupie. You know what I mean? Hey man, can I get a drop? And they don't give me a drop.
Now you here looking goofy with your hand out.
Correct. Then I'm pause. I'm butthurt because
Right.
you have a right to tell me no, and then I'm like, who are you to tell me no, right? So,
Exactly. Exactly.
but up and coming artists, they hungry, they willing to work,
Right. Yeah. Usually. Yeah. Exactly.
they starving.
Yeah. I think it's a really balanced person to be up on your feet, up in the clouds, and still, down to earth, and still want to talk to the people.
Mm.
Like everyone's gonna tune in to uh, I think his name's something Kyle, Christian Kyle or something like that. But he's an artist or actor. 70, almost 70 years old. He did a lot of mostly like black films. As soon as he started doing interviews, 300,000 views plus, because everyone was interested in what he had to say. You know what I mean? So yeah, you could get wisdom from everybody.
True, you can learn from anybody.
You know, especially older people, man. Even though some older people so just full of BS.
What I respect about the elders
Mm.
is, or the ancestors, I like to refer to them is, they experienced a life I'll never experience.
Yeah, that's true.
So I wouldn't know what Jim Crow feels like,
Nah.
right? I don't know what civil rights feels like. I know what discrimination and humiliation and racism feel like, but I don't. It's not to the extent that they lived it.
Yeah, they lived it for sure. Yeah,
Correct.
that's not. I mean, I wouldn't want to live through that. I probably wouldn't. As soon as I spoke out and did something, I'm the type of dude who was like, man, let's get together and go get them. They would have killed me already off the dribble. I wouldn't have made it out of high school.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's a good thing. I mean, if you believe in that you have past lives and stuff, you know, we feel how that feels like. Just like time doesn't exist, like you can't point to time, you can't point to your feelings, but we could have empathy. We know how that feels like in a sense, but we didn't have to physically live through that. But we still, just like you said about your friend, like people just assume racism just from them existing in
Hmm.
their skin. In the reverse way is like, damn, we obviously we get racism too because of the color of our skin, but y'all get it the reverse side because the color of your skin is like it's a double-edged sword. Y'all made a system that fucked y'all over in the future. You know,
Correct. Do you feel drill contributed or destroyed hip hop?
it contributed. I think people were destroying themselves anyway, and they just needed a catalyst or needed something to point the finger to. And drill was the new thing to point the finger to. People been doing that. Now they get to put it in their songs. Usually they just put it on a T-shirt and take his stuff, but now they just make songs out of it because songs are accessible. That was just a cool thing.
Do you feel hip hop is a scapegoat?
A scapegoat in what sense?
So when it comes to law enforcement, they say that hip hop influences violence. Do you feel there's some truth in that?
Um, no, because you gotta ask yourself. No, because you gotta ask yourself these questions. Like when people make those statements, you gotta ask yourself, well, who makes hip hop? The
Hmm.
people make hip hop.
Hmm.
Who's doing all the violence? The people are doing all the violence.
Hmm.
So you can't. I don't think one should be able to say, well, this is influencing them. Like, no, they've been wanting to do this. The kids were gonna probably fight after school anyway,
Hmm.
but now they have a song that you could say motivates them to. I wouldn't say all the way influence because influence is like a choice. You can't really have an outside thing to tell you like, hey, go do these bad things, go do negative things. It's a choice. He wanted to do that, but this guy, whatever you hear, makes it feel like, all right, it's okay to do that. Now I'm really gonna do it.
Hmm.
So I don't think you can point the finger out for a reason for something that you've been wanting to do inside.
So you feel like Call of Duty and those action games contribute more damage psychologically to the youth?
Um, no, not at all. I think it actually helps because Call of Duty and shooting games and first person shooters and things like that. See, people don't realize we're really living in the future. Yeah, we know them as games, but they're really simulations. In the past, people have really gone through war, really shot at people, really died, really walked on landmines. None of us, the most of the US population, don't have to go through that. We don't have to go through war, so now we can just make games out of it. So when people play those video games, I don't think it's damaging. I think it just fills in a question in their mind, like, oh, how would this really look? Like a simulation. It's just a game. It's not real. So it kind of just like, well, if I do this on the game, I'm not going to question how this is going to play out in real life. So I don't think people take it that serious. I don't think it's harmful to people at all. It's just a game.
Do you feel AI is destroying the music industry or contributing to it?
Um, AI is contributing and will contribute more because it's the same thing as when we had to use our hands and our head to basically figure out a math problem. And then the calculator came out. Then the teacher was like, oh, you can't use calculators on the test, but people were cheating, putting the calculator underneath the desk and all that until now calculators are mandatory for whatever standardized test that you use today. I think it's the same as anything. It's just a new tool that we're